though TNC is actually thinking of that for Chakno, and they want to be careful going up against it and make sure that they don't go up against it, rather. As we head into the draft, I would like to share my little anecdote. I've heard some very good things about the analyst of TNC Pro Team in Coach Semi.
Coach Semi?
Semi, Xemy. So there have been some stories going around about him, about how he has a very unique mind for the game. He has some very unique ideas, and I wouldn't be surprised at what if maybe give flowers where they could be possibly due. That was Coach Semi's brainchild to come up with the Selena Novar. Maybe that's something we can look out for.
Give him those flowers. Thanks for the roses. All right, jumping into Game 2 draft. We got one more band left. This is interesting too. Win rate for blue side, TNC 66.67%. Red side for Smart Omega, 0%. But then again, mind you, they only played one game last week. And one series last week, and they're looking to make things happen here. And hopefully they can change that win rate with this game going into Game 2. Also, real quick, just a reminder, guys, you can purchase your tickets on the line for tomorrow's matches. Twisted Minds versus TNC. So TNC will get to go ahead and play again tomorrow. And also Omega. Omega will be playing against TLPH. So that is going to be a daunting task, I feel like, for Omega, because right now TLPH is going a little crazy. But we'll see them later today, too. Now that last ban, did they come out? Are we still waiting for it? We are still waiting for it.
Still waiting for a fanny ban.
I'm surprised. I think Omega chose to stay red side.
Sir, what's your command?
Here's the fanny. Yeah, they would have chosen to. Yeah, they would have chosen to stay red because we're blue.
Suyo.
Okay, here I got this, boys. Via Timebreaker Times, Coach and DJ. Sobrang sarap sa pakiramdam kasi kumbaga yung lahat ng pinag-urapan namin na magkasama ay nakitang namin ng magandang yung resulta. All right, let's translate it. Inga.
Oh, I thought you were going to translate it.
No,
Basically,
I'm the Tagalog reader.
Coach Imba DJ just saying that he feels good because all of their hard work, all of their time together is paying off, and it's looking like it's giving out good results for TNC. And now Omega looking to even out the score by picking out the Suyo and Badang.
Okay.
I like the Harith priority here for TNC Pro Team. Omega go with a strong combo right away. They can flex this Badang. Hopefully they're thinking about flexing it and they haven't lead on the idea that this is going to go into the hands of the Mamba. Most likely we're going to be seeing another Vexana pick later on for Omega, or just anyone that can burst down to make sure that they make the most out of what the Badang brings to the table. Jawhead might actually also be a possibility for Omega later on, so hopefully they hold on to the Badang flex up until the second phase of the draft and they don't show it yet. For TNC Pro Team, they can get Eve. Oh,
okay.
Yaoi gets his Cho. All right.
Does this mean that Kufra will put out Chakno?
You know what? If you're going to pick up Kufra, now would be a good time to do it.
Right?
Not now, but in this draft.
Later on, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Hopefully we get that matchup.
Okay.
Okay, we like it. We like it. We like it. He gets. I just anytime, dude. You guys can't deny it. All the Yaoi fans around the world, they see him get the Cho. It's the same reaction when, for example, Chaknu did get the Kufra before. So they want to see him make the moves, make the plays. And right now, based off this first phase of the draft, I would say that right now TNC, I like what they have. The combination, too, that we've seen before quite a bit is that E-pick with that Harith. Two solid options that really work with a lot of utility, but also the ultimates work great together. You know, if you want to set up that box, the real-world manipulation with that Zaman Force, there's a lot of zone potential, especially when you consider the fact that you have these heroes across from you that want to be in your face, right? The Mozkov coming in with the Spirit of Destruction, the Suyo, of course, even the Badang. Like, this is what you want to go ahead and fight. And if you can actually lock someone down with a kick with that Way of the Dragon and take someone out right away, that's a huge advantage for TNC already.
Yeah. And we've seen it a lot multiple times yesterday. I believe Cho was picked up as a roamer multiple times, and Omega takes out a lot of junglers, Joy and Alpha.
The problem means Omega's actually thinking about a Farsa in their mid lane. That's usually one of the reasons why you would ban out the Joy. Because if you're the Vexana, you're okay with letting the Joy through. TNC Pro Team let go of the glue. There might be a Farsa 4th pick, and then we're just gonna see finally the Roam EXP get shown in the 5th. Hopefully that's what they're thinking.
Okay. Next pick, Farsa.
That's what
this is
they
common.
were thinking. Yeah.
literally the common, the Farsa into the Eve. Now your last 2 picks for TNC. We still need a jungle. What do you think Zyda's going to go for?
Hoping they pick Lucas, but not for Zyda.
Yeah.
Or for Lord JM.
I would like the Lucas for Lord JM and maybe a
Still
Nolan or Hayabusa. But they might actually be thinking about the Nolan more, considering the rotational speed matches the Suyo better.
Okay.
So
Because
Nolan,
of the effect,
Lucas.
yeah, Nolan.
Nolan, Lucas.
Lucas jungle. Why do you think it doesn't work out so? Why didn't it work out so well yesterday? What it was record yesterday for Lucas?
No,
Yeah. Nolan.
Lucas.
I don't know. There's just something about Lucas right now. I think teams haven't completely learned how to make the most out of it.
Yeah.
So instead of going for the Lucas, they go for the Hilda. So this is the disruptive, fast-rotating Lord JM. TNC Pro Team might be thinking to just... They're not reading the EXP matchup so well. Okay. So they want the Hilda to be very active in the map, to go to the jungle a little bit more. So you're actually rotating more as 4 with the Hilda leaving the EXP lane. And I think they banked on that idea that they're going to be going up against a Badang in the EXP, then the Badang is not going roam.
Yeah, not going roam. That was that Tig last pick there, so good responses. And I feel like that Tig was kind of warranted because you want to be able to go ahead and help with setting things up just in case. Because if you do happen to get caught in that fight with the rearward manipulation and you have a response with the implosion, we've seen this happen time and time again, you could use that in a couple different ways, whether that's to peel, whether that's just to be a counter response from TNC, or to TNC's lineup, then that's fine. But also, again, you have good burst damage, and that's what I like for Smart Omega, because I want to see them have a better early game, one where they take control, at least in the early game, because look at this. The potential here right now, the early to mid-game potential, that was a 4.4. I mean, it looked like it was more red than blue.
Yeah.
The numbers were swapped a little bit, but I want to see this early game potential with a Suyo and a Farsa in the hands of Smart Omega. We'll see if they pull it off. We're jumping in the game at 2. Once again, in the Land of Dawn, TNC, will they get a sweep against the Barangay Smart Omega?
Yeah, if Omega wants to get that early snowball that Naisu is looking for, they have to make sure that they don't have a repeat of their first engage against Team Falcons Philippines in game number 1 last week, wherein they overly committed because they knew they could get the snowball, and they just missed the execution.
Early game post, you could already feel it. And just like that, you already force out Ukir's flicker early on.
That early on with the flicker is going to be tough because I was... You know, again, he could just wait till he's level 4, and if you're Farsa, you got wings by wings. That's kind of safety and net enough. But ultimately, with how this is going to go, like I said, for Jome, he's got his signature Moskov. I want to say it's signature because that's where we saw some of his best performances last season. And I hope that he can pop off. But this is Kozin on the Harith, and the Harith has been phenomenal already, even back before we started MPL.
I mean, even last week we saw quite of a good thing for the side of Omega, wherein there was a good outplay coming in from Jome, where he used up the Spear of Destruction up against 2 members of Team Falcons. If he continues to pull off outplays like that, I'm not going to wonder why this could go to a Game 3.
Oh, Yawi goes in, just checks things out. And even with this, they do have Zyda at level 4. It's going to be spotted out. Little check with the Queller there. The Turtle will be up here shortly. So once they kind of get things situated, again, you're playing around once you have level 4s available, once you have that timer available to you.
If Omega, what we're looking for is snowball from them, they might find the start of it.
Oh, good use of the Sacred Hammer plus the Evil Queller plus the Surge to make sure that Yawi has to use the Flicker. So no Flicker available for the Roamer of TNC for this first Turtle fight.
Yeah, but you can see this, right? Okir just nearly level 4, so he'll have it. Both gold laners doing their thing. This is going to be a close one for the first Turtle anyway, as both teams went for the reset. They've got their level 4s now. Yawi doesn't, though, because he had to go back. So he might just clear that mid lane, get it, and then they are going to start this up. Half health for now. Who's he going to go for?
Okay, Chakno used up the Sacred Hammer. He has the Flicker, connects the kick. Will he be able to cast out the Implosion? He did, but he didn't catch Zyda. First blood will be drawn for the side of the Phoenix Army. A counterattack right away for Omega to bring down Lord JM.
Okay, it's a trade, but slightly not favorable for Omega. Good thing they have a Badang with them that can act as the roamer substitute for now and just hold alongside it. But now TNC Pro Team look to get minion wave priority in the middle. They push that while now threatening the Turtle. Good call.
Lancey pops the real world manipulation to zone out Omega. Meanwhile, Chaknu is now in the picture. Yawi goes in with the way of the dragon, going to connect onto the Mamba and going to bring him down successfully. That's one member down for the Barangay.
Okay, keep it together. Still fighting for it. That is going to be finally the turtle. Go in the hands of TNC. They're still hunting for Andoru, but he should be able to get away. He's going to lose his orange, though, here, too. Oh. Yawi will keep him at bay alongside Lord JM. Andoru, he's still going to try to take this. Doesn't get it. Oh. Zaida, not enough damage, too. That was about a minute and some change for that first turtle, by the way.
Yeah, Omega, it's safe to say that they overcommitted into that one, and it became we don't need to really win this. It became, we desperately need to win this with how long that they spent there. While for TNC, they were able to shut down the snowball window already for Omega, because after the first objective, they invaded the orange buff, meaning Andori is going to be off his timers. He's going to be a level behind Zaida, or at least half a level bar behind Zaida, which means that he'll be playing catch-up. So Omega might actually want to think about sacrificing the next objective so that they can just steal buffs or steal resources in the lower portion of the map when the second turtle spawns.
Yeah, that's a good idea, too. Oh, Yawi does it. He just goes.
Connects, but Chaknu answers with the implosion. Omega, though, will they be able to counterattack? Zaida goes in with a fracture. Okir manages to stay alive with the wings by wings. No casualties, but 2 ultimates have been popped.
Forget, this is also a signature Nolan pick for Zaida in MPL Philippines Season 13 when he became an MPL champion. There was a time where Carl Tizzi's performance was shaky during that season, and Zaida stepped in. Yep. In that run, he went 7-0 with a Nolan.
Gosh, what season was that?
13.
13?
Yeah.
I feel like that was so long ago. Yeah. But I remember that. I remember that specifically when Zaida did step in, because a lot of people were like, I wonder how Zaida's going to do, you know?
He did very well.
He did very well. Yawi goes in, knows there's no flicker.
Wow.
Speaking of doing very well, Yawi once again making sure that all of his Way of the Dragons will connect to the proper target. Okir, not safe in the middle lane.
Solo kill.
But solo kill onto the bottom lane. We didn't get a chance to see it. But still, Big J finding big ways to crawl back to the game.
Yeah, okay. That was on his side of the map, too.
So did he just kind of escape utilizing the flicker as well, and then threw out the spear, and then Kozin just took too many shots?
Yeah, it looked like that was a Big J outplay.
He finally had his moment. We didn't get to catch it, man. We've been waiting for Big J. He got his moment, and also they get a turtle now for Smart Omega.
I'm pretty sure we're not going to have we're going to have more moments of Big J making big things. Just give it time, or just win week number 2. But if they want to continue, I mean, to extend the series, Big J has to have multiple highlight plays up against TNC.
This is just a personal flavor for mine, but one of the things I don't like about what Omega decided to do here is that Okir picked up the flicker instead of the Purify. Bro, you're up against Yawi on a Cho. I get why you would want the flicker. You can reposition the Feathered Airstrike, maybe even use it to avoid Yawi when you see him coming up. When you have the Feathered Airstrike up already, I get that line of thinking, but the Purify might have been the safer choice.
That's something I would do, and I always say, you know, when you pick up the flicker instead, it's just you're relying on pure athleticism.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I like to say it's the athletic flicker, man, because that's like your finger has to be an athlete.
Yep.
Because that's literally what you're doing. And now you're gonna make a play here on the bottom side. Chaknu going, Yawi.
Okay, Chaknu still goes in with the implosion, connecting on to Yawi, paired up with the first break, first crack combination coming in from Lewis to bring down the lover boy. Meanwhile, Lord JM into the middle. Lewis even with the flicker. He's going to get caught up by Zaida for the counterattack for the Phoenix Army.
TNC Pro Team now are starting to feel the effect of the Mamba, but they are still clapping back. How many more trades until Omega finally gets the definitive winning one?
Oh, early cast of the Feathered Airstrike. Glancy answers right back with a real-world manipulation. They're trying to make a sandwich play up top against Omega. Kozin still here in the picture. Salmon Force goes in! Chome! Fortunately for Kozin, this highlight play was caught in camera.
It was under the turret too with your teammates there. That must not feel good for Big J as TNC Pro Team will continue their momentum. Lancy on point with a real-world manipulation there, and TNC are feeling it.
They're feeling it right now, and they're feeling that pressure mounting up from a rising Phoenix. So they'll go ahead and just focus on getting these objectives. They do just give up this last turtle, which they should. Like we mentioned, you know, you don't want to get too kind of carried away when you're already falling behind. It could be a slippery slope if they continue to just play this out. right now there hasn't been really an answer to deal with Yawi starting some of these fights and some of the choices that Smart Omega's making to respond to this. Because even looking at the itemization, you know, it's getting pretty scary for the Nolan specifically. He's 2,000, nearly 2,000 gold ahead of Endoru.
I mean, looking at game number 1 and now game number 2, honestly, Omega has been, to a certain point, playing it safe. But the problem is, it looks like if you're going to play safe, play passive, up against TNC, for sure they're going to continue to find ways to infiltrate the front line. Yawi has been phenomenal with the way of the Dragon Flicker combinations all throughout.
Double Dreadnought armor actually for the front line of TNC Pro Team. Yawi and Lord JM. It's helping reduce the physical damage of the Suyo. That's why, even though the Suyo should be hurting a lot, it's been reduced a considerable amount that it might take a while until Ondorius' damage is going to be absolutely frightening for TNC Pro Team. Already on the way to the Sad Sword. I actually forgot the real name for it.
Longsword?
No, the Blade of Despair. Oh my goodness.
BOD?
I hear Sad Sword so much now that I forgot the name of the BOD. So Blade of Despair. So yeah, already on the way to the third item, and considerable gold gap. 2,000 is the lead of Zyda against Andoryu.
I've never heard
Because of
that.
Leo, he calls it Sad Sword a lot.
Why?
Darn it, Leo!
Green sword.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a sound effect for that one.
I think he does.
He probably does, but
He does for sure.
well, at this point, you can see the damage being dealt here. It is pretty scary. Looking at this. Oh, fighting again.
Ooh,
Yawi.
dodge!
What a dodge from
That's athletic.
Andoryu. Now the counter play from Omega. Lands the answer right back to the
Chaknu!
manipulation onto Chaknu. And they're going to bring down Yawi in exchange for Chaknu. But the fight still continues. The side goes in with a fracture. Going to bring down Andoryu once again. Forcing out the flicker of Jome also. But Lord JM goes in. Wants to go in for the kill. Omega survives with 3 members. But TNC, once again, a quick response.
Another picture-perfect placement. Zyda sees Ukir. Oh, but Zyda dashed into the wall just a little bit. But TNC Pro Team, Lancy on point with another Starfield drop down where Kozin and Lord JM look so comfortable keeping Jome at bay.
So good at just zoning out Jome, really not letting him to really do anything. Whether he's playing the Granger, whether he's on the Moskov, it just seems like he's not really able to be activated other than that 1v1 fight he had earlier on with Kozin. So this is, again, a swing in favor of TNC even further now that they've gotten themselves the Lord. Chaknu, though.
They're going to commit the implosion onto Lord JM, but the damage, will it be enough, though, as Yawi goes in, plus flicker in. Ukir cast his feathered airstrike to zone out the members of TNC. Now it's 1 attempt wasted for the side of Omega. Lord JM was just too tanky, and TNC's quick response, quick counterattack was just too much to handle for the Barangay.
I guess you might as well just go for that. You know the shields are still up in the mid lane, so maybe you don't need the implosion. I don't think it's going to be a backup for this, so they just try to hold on to what they can. Lord's going to be cleared out, but look at Yawi. Does put the threat there, even using the conceal. The shields will go down on the top. They're still here on the mid, though, so it's actually held in. They keep it together.
Oh, luckily, TNC then tried to go and force out an initiation because they still have to wait for the implosion. But as I was saying that, Yawi goes in, but Lewis catches him off guard with a first break, first crack combination. But Lancy will be able to take down Chaknu. No more implosion once again for Omega. It's going to be a 4-on-4. Both roamers are down.
Jome also able to knock back Yawi in time. I believe it was the knockback from the Moskov that messed up his initial entry there. Yawi could have gotten a really good kick, but that was now fast reactions and fast fingers coming from the side of Omega. Now, one of the things that we have to watch out now for is the next timer of items for Ukir. He already is up to a Blood Wings. However, it might take up until either the Divine Glaive or the Holy Crystal, where TNC is going to start having to be more careful. When the Farsa has built up both, that's when the comeback scenario is online and active for Omega. But he's not going to be going for the Holy Crystal. I believe he wants to build the Genius Wand next, and then we'll see if he'll decide between the Crystal or the Divine Glaive. Either of those 2 items, once it's locked in, it's going to be go time for Omega to just completely turn it around.
I mean, aside from the items that Ukir has, again, since he did go for the Athletic Flicker, he's going to have a hard time trying to execute those feathered airstrike, because for sure Yawi and Lord JM sets their eyes every single time at Ukir whenever initiation is about to happen.
I mean, regardless, too, when you really look at it and the fact that you're down 8,000 gold and, you know, even in terms of damage, I mean, look how far away the gap is between your main damage dealers for both teams. You need so much time for Smart Omega to actually get to that point where they're able to go ahead and have those maybe winning fights, because even so, I feel like some of the times with the implosions from Chaknu, a lot of times he's going to catch Lord JM because Lord JM is going to be that front guy on this Hilda. You know, he's going to be the one to go ahead and scout things out. So for Chaknu, it's almost like, okay, if I have to take Lord JM, or at least maybe it's Yawi, then I hope we have enough damage to get a kill, because so far they haven't, because they're just lacking in terms of itemization. And that's just the facts when it comes to being down 8,000 gold. Look at Lord JM. He knows they're there, but he's confident enough that he's tanky enough that he can just do that right now.
He actually wants Chaknu to cast the big ultimate, but Yawi casts the Wave of the Dragon first. Chaknu forced to use the Flicker as Ukir casts the Feather S-Strike to zone out TNC. Andori just trying to provide vision for Omega. Will they be able to take away the Lord? Jome just working on the top lane, trying to create the split push action for the Barangay.
One more fracture here, just used up by Zyda, but look at the zone by Lord JM!
Oh, they might be able to burst down Andoryu right away as Andoryu has to walk away. Here comes Chaknu. He does, however, have the Conceal plus the Implosion. They can actually make and go for initiation as Jome just trying to continue the push up top.
Okay, that's about as good as it could get for Smart Omega.
Yeah.
Get that turret down, good push from Jome.
Yeah, TNC Pro Team now will be able to march in with the Lord, and Ukir, I believe, does not have his 4th main item yet. He just built up the Genius Wand. They should still be able to defend this, but it's not going to be one of those scenarios wherein, oh, Omega gets a massive turnaround and they're going to push out and potentially even win the game. If they want to get that, that means TNC Pro Team messed up their engagement and positioning and didn't respect the ultimate of Chaknu, that implosion. At this point, and a big implosion paired up with a great timing from Luis and Ukir is what will turn this game around for Omega.
And you saw that too, Lord JM just picking up the winner's crown. They want to go ahead and just fully get into the base, at least take all the turrets down if they can here. Yawi will go ahead and put Threat up there. They manage the waves for that long push in. Oh, and Doryu's so low. Well, okay, they're going to be fine. They will lose some of these turrets.
Early cast of the real manipulation to try and zone out Omega as TNC working on the mid lane and top lane. Hit with their turret. The Lord sieging up. Yawi goes in! Yawi of the Dragon over the Barangay to clear out two. Yawi, however, will fall down, but Kozen says, I'll use the Zapman Force to slide over the Crystal. But Jome answers right back with a Spear of Destruction, but still the Lord is there, and the Phoenix Army will continue to rise.
Rising on forward.